What's going on, guys? My name is Drew and welcome to season 3 of this FM20 challenge series here at Benfica in Portugal. It's the Curse of Bela Guttman challenge that we're doing, where he indicated that not for 100 years would Benfica win any kind of European silverware based on the fact that he asked for a pay rise, which was turned down. I feel like it might take 100 years to complete this challenge at this rate. We have managed to do better last season than we did in our first season. Obviously, first season we got knocked out in the Europa League. Last season we managed to get to the semi-finals, almost to the final, where we eventually would have played Liverpool and probably got knocked out by them. But we went out to Real Madrid in the semi-final after beating Barcelona in the quarters. This season I've done things differently, as I indicated I would. We lost Greenwood, unfortunately, who was our big player last season, getting us quite a few goals. I've replaced him with a player that I've always wanted to sign on FM20, but never really done it, and that is Duvan Zapata. We brought him in from Atalanta for 28.5 million. He's the sort of player I wanted to bring in because hopefully he gives some experience and can take us to that sort of next level in terms of getting us goals, winning us games, and hopefully this guy does it. He's 30 years of age. Obviously current and potential ability will be about 3 stars because he's obviously 30, so there isn't any kind of potential ability growth in that. He's a squad player in his prime years according to the coach summary. He's a leading player for most Premier League sides, and you can see, look, finishing 18, heading 16, balance 19, anticipation 16. He's a good quality striker, and I feel that's what we need. We obviously lost Greenwood, who gave us youth and gave us a lot of goals last season. We weren't able to bring him back. I did try, but if I wanted to get him in, I would have had to have paid his new wages, which were 230,000 I think Man United put him on, so I wouldn't have been able to afford to do that. So I've done it. I've brought in Zapata, like I say, a player that I've wanted to use in FM this year but not managed to do it. We'll obviously see how he gets on for us this year. Another player we've brought in, again from Serie A, is Lucas Piquette. We brought him in from Milan, 9.75 million, potentially rising to 29.5 million with many add-ons. Again, he's a quality player, attacking midfielder, valued at 21.5 million now, only 24 years of age, Brazilian, current ability 2.5 stars, could improve in the future. Do remember him being a lot better than these stats were suggesting when I've had him in previous FMs, and I'm surprised AC Milan let him go because I always thought he was a really good player. Maybe in FM20 he's not as good as he maybe was in FM19, but hopefully he does the business for us this season. Again, he gives us some experience, hopefully takes us to another level in terms of our performances and being able to get that one step further and actually win some sort of European silverware this season, but we'll have to see. The final player we've brought in is Oliver Batista Meyer. So we've brought him in from Bayern Munich, 9 million outlay. This guy's a wonder kid, only 20 years of age. Again, potentially rises to 29.5 million with many add-ons. I know what you're going to say. This guy's a winger, but we play a narrow formation. I've been thinking that maybe now we're in season 3 that the narrow formation might not work. So I wanted to have some quality wingers that could play both sides so that we could potentially go to a winger formation if we needed to. This guy can obviously play left and right. We've got a couple of other players in the squad that can play on the wings as well if we need to. So it does just give us that extra option if we did want to play with wingers. We sold one of our wingers actually this season to Bournemouth for 19 million, Servi, who didn't really play for us last season because obviously we played this narrow formation, but I needed to bring somebody in. I did have that thought that maybe if the narrow formation didn't work, we would need to switch to a winger type formation. So I brought this guy in. He's young as well, so he's not expecting to start every game. So hopefully he's somebody we can bring on if we needed to in terms of switching up to a different type of formation if we had to. And I think as well in the Champions League it's good to have those options as well. We did quite well when we were playing at home. We seemed to get quite a few goals and we won a few games, but away from home we struggled, and I wonder if maybe the winger formation will work better for us away from home, but we'll obviously have to find out. So in terms of the transfers out then for this third season, We have sold quite a few players. Tavares has gone to West Brom for 7.75 million. He was a backup winger, wing back actually, that we had. We didn't really use him, so instead we decided to cash in on him and sold him to West Brom for 7.75 million. Conti as well, another backup centre back that we had. He's gone for 6.5 million. Calesa as well, as another centre back that we deemed surplus to requirements. We sold him on for 3.6 million. Diogo Gonçalves, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's gone for 1.5 million. We already have Ferreira going out because he went out on loan with a clause in his contract that if he met a certain number of games, the team that he went on loan to had to buy him, and they did for 8.25 million. That was a really good bit of business because he was about 31 years old, I think, and we got his full value for him, so that was really good. Abue has gone to West Ham as well for 13.25 million. Again, he was a backup wing back for us last season, didn't play many games, so we decided to cash in on him. And as mentioned, that winger that we sold, Franco Cervi, has gone to Bournemouth for 90 million. So we've sold quite a few players. Like I say, these weren't really players that were playing a lot of games for us. Cervi obviously didn't really play for us last season because we played the narrow tactic for the majority of the season, so we decided to sell him on. But I think we've done some decent business. So where does it leave us with our finances? So our overall balance is 164 million, which is obviously really good. Our transfer budget we've got left is about 44 million. Original budget was about 81. We are only getting 80% now of the transfer revenue, and that's due to the fact that we're spending quite a bit more on wages than we were before. We're currently spending about 1.7 million, which is a considerable amount compared to last season. The reason behind that is in the summer, quite a few teams came in for our big players, the likes of Grimaldo, Diaz, Ferro, etc. The only way I was going to be able to keep hold of them is by offering them decent wages, which I've had to do, and that's obviously bumped up our wage spend this year. So yeah, my feeling was that because we want to complete this challenge, I don't want to sell on my best players, so I paid a bit more in terms of wages to keep them, and I think that's fine. Like I say, if we're going to complete this challenge, we need the best players that we can possibly have to give us a fighting chance of doing it, especially in the Champions League where we find ourselves season after season. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an update on where we are. I'll bring you back again in January as I normally do and show you how we're getting on in terms of Europe and the league and how our new signings are settling in. So guys, we've played through until January. As you can see, similar sort of theme to last season really. We've got through in the Champions League. Obviously this is the big one because we're trying to lift that European silverware, trying to lift that curse. Unfortunately though, we've been drawn against Juventus in the first knockout round, which is going to be a very big challenge for us, I think. We've just signed a new contract for 5 years with the club. It might take 5 more years and maybe more than that to try and win this challenge and lift this curse, win some sort of European silverware. But yeah, we've got Juventus in the next round. See how we get on obviously against them. Can we lift the curse this season, or are we going to go into another season, so which would be season 4? We're through in terms of the 6th round of the Portuguese Cup. We got actually knocked out of the Portuguese League Cup in the 3rd phase, so right at the start of the competition really. Board expectation, it's not important, so that's not a problem. And the Super Cup, we came runners up in that for the first time in 3 seasons. But obviously the big focus still remains that we need to do something in Europe. We need to lift this curse. And obviously Juventus is going to be a big challenge for us. In terms of the league, we're 3 points clear at the top of the table to Porto in 2nd and Guimarães in 3rd. If we look at the league performance then, and obviously the European competition as well, as you can see, we've done well. There's a lot of green on the board, which is what we like to see, and not many goals conceded, apart from obviously that Arsenal game in the Champions League, which we did eventually win 4-3. But still, we've done really well. Obviously, the cup, 3rd round of the cup, we got through that one 8-0 against Amora. Just focusing on a few of the games here, we beat Lazio 3-0, who was in our Champions League group, along with Arsenal and Club Brugge. Surprised me as well because I thought we would struggle in this group given we had Arsenal and Lazio. but we managed to qualify quite easily, really. 4 points clear of Lazio in second, qualified top of the group, didn't lose a single game. Drew 2, which was against Arsenal, a 4-4 draw. Exciting match that was against Arsenal away, and a 2-2 draw against Club Brugge, which are obviously, I felt, were the weakest team in the group, but obviously they managed to finish third and go into the Europa League, and Arsenal have gone crashing out of Europe this season. 1-4, so we beat Arsenal 4-3 at home. We managed to beat Lazio 2-1 away as well in Italy, beat Club Brugge again 2-0. And then beat Lazio again at home in Portugal 3-0. So really good performance in Europe, and obviously we go on to face Juventus in the first knockout stage. So we had a bit of money to spend. Obviously we always have money to spend. We have bought in a couple of players. So this guy here from Velez is a very young midfielder. Not sure how much we'll play him, but he was recommended by our scouting team. Current ability 2-star. Potential ability 4-star, might send him out on loan. Italian player Ancona, got him in from Velez, as mentioned, in Argentina for 4.7 million, and looks a decent young player. Next guy we've brought in is Gonzalo Montiel. He's a player that I've had before on a previous save. Decent right back. He was actually at Torino. We scouted him at the start of the season and potentially looked to bring him in instead of Guttmann, but he went to Torino for 5.25 million from River, but we've managed to bring him in for 4.3 million, which potentially could go up to 8.25 with many add-ons. Decent player, decent wing back, all around good player. Like I say, only 25. Current ability 2-star, potential ability 2.5-star. I know he's a decent player because I've had him before, so we brought him in because Almeida in our team wants to leave. He's 31. He wants a new challenge, so we'll sell him on. And yeah, Montiel will provide backup to Guttmann as our first choice right back. So those are the only two players we've brought in. In terms of how our team is doing, obviously you can see we were doing well in the league, but in terms of Zapata, who was the player that we wanted to bring in, it's not somebody I've signed before, as mentioned, 30-year-old Colombian. He's got 19 and 18. He's doing really well. I was hoping he'd be our replacement for Greenwood, and he's certainly done that. Been a really good player for us. Another player that's doing really well again this season, he did superb last season, is Vinicius. He wants a new contract and wants quite a bit of money, so we need to look at whether we do that or not. He's currently on 62k. I think he wants somewhere in the region of 120k. But given that he's got 22 goals in 22 appearances, we'll probably have to give him that. A player that does want to leave, though, is Lincoln, interestingly. He wants to go to Tottenham, I believe. He's got 7 in 13, so we might have to look at how we might replace him. Batista Meyer's done well. Obviously, we brought him in, 5 goals in 9, 5 assists. So where we've been playing with wingers, obviously Batista Meyer has played, and Rafa's also been playing because he plays as a winger as well. Guttmann again's having a decent season, as he always does. Weigl's wanted by Bayern Munich, but I think we managed to get him to sign a new contract, so he'll be staying with us. Grimaldo again's having a good season. He's not wanted by anyone, which is decent, because all through the summer people were coming in for him, trying to get him. The same with Diaz as well, but we've managed to keep hold of our big players, which is obviously what we wanted to do. We talked about keeping hold of our best players. Piquette's not doing too bad. It's trying to find the position for him. Normally we play him sort of just behind the strikers. 9 appearances for him so far, 3 goals, 3 assists, so not too bad. But yeah, all in all, the team's performing really well, and we'll see how the new guys settle in. Not sure we'll do any more business in the transfer window. I think at the moment our team's pretty decent the way it is. I don't think we really need to do much. I'm really glad that Zapata is banging in the goals. I knew he'd be a top player. Like I say, not somebody I've signed before, but obviously somebody I'll probably look at in the future as well for any future saves we do, if we can afford him, depending on which club we are. But yeah, 19 and 18 for him is really good return. In terms of our tactics then, so because we got Batista Meyer in, we have used a winger formation before. This is one that was recommended by our assistant manager, actually. So it gives us a bit of support in front of the back four. It just uses our players really well. Obviously, we need to balance the fact that we've got Zapata and Carlos Vinicius, but normally we switch between this tactic and a sort of narrow tactic where we either have three up front or we have the two up front with the three players behind. So we're obviously managing to keep players happy at the moment, which is good, and these tactics all seem to be working pretty well, unlike the tactics at my Gladbach back save that I'm currently playing at the moment. You'll see that in the next couple of episodes. So in terms of our finances then, so we're overall balance is still 121 million. Our transfer budget is 36, and actually we've increased our transfer revenue back up to 100%, which has been decent. We're obviously spending over the wage cap now. Wage budget 1.8 million. We're currently spending 1.9, so we're going to need to adjust that. But obviously we've got the money to be able to do it. Oh no, even if you adjust it to that, we're still going to be spending over. I think when we sell our right back, he's on quite a bit of wages. So when we sell him on, what is he on? Oh, he's on 37,500 a week. So no, not really high wages. But when we sell him on, maybe that'll release some more wages. We have got a decent sized team now. So yeah, we'll have to have a look at that obviously and try and increase the wage budget where we can. So guys, that's the January update. Obviously I'll now play through until the end of the season and bring you back with how we've got on in the Champions League. Have we managed to beat Juventus or not? I'm thinking probably not, but you never know. We did manage to beat Barcelona last season, so anything's possible. We've obviously got a decent team now. We've built quite a good team actually for competing in the Champions League. Hopefully Zapata can do the business. Obviously he was at Atalanta last season, so he'll be used to playing against Juventus, and we'll have to see how he gets on against them. But yeah, I'll bring you back at the end of the season and let you know how we've got on. Have we managed to lift the curse, or are we going into another season? So guys, we've played through to the end of the season and we've done it. We've managed to win a European competition. No, I can't do it. No, we haven't. There's going to be a season 4, unfortunately. We've not managed to do it this season. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals by United. So we've not managed to lift the curse again this season. I've got something different planned for next season. We're obviously going to do season 4. Well, we're going to keep going basically until we lift this curse. That's the challenge we've set ourselves, and we need to do it. So yeah, bit of a step too far for us. We got through in the first knockout round against Juventus, only just though, 5-5 on aggregate. 3-1 we managed to win away, which surprisingly. But yeah, the quarterfinals in United was just a step too far. We lost that game 5-2 on aggregate. They absolutely demolished us, to be fair. And it wasn't even Greenwood that scored against us. It was the Rashford show that's done it. But we'll go into season 4. But like I say, I've got something a little bit different planned for that, which I'll obviously announce at the start of next season. In terms of the other competitions then, so again, we've absolutely dominated the league. We've won the league comfortably on 84 points. We actually went through completely unbeaten. So yeah, didn't lose a game all season. Drew a lot of games, but yeah, didn't lose a game at all. We actually did the double over Porto as well, which was surprising. That was a challenge that we faced over most of the seasons where we didn't manage to beat them, but this time we did, and we obviously managed to finish 9 points above them. The interesting one though is Braga. So Braga have been pushing us close over the last few seasons. They finished 11th, and actually they sacked Marco Silva quite early on, but yeah, they finished on 41 points. So quite a big gap to us this season. Be interesting to see what happens next season. And actually it's Maritimo that finished 3rd this season, and obviously Sporting there in 4th. So yeah, really good performance in the league. Comfortable again in the league, but again, that European silverware that we need to lift this curse is still evading us. I think I might have mentioned this before, but we went out of the Portuguese League Cup quite early on, knocked out in the 3rd phase, which is the first time we've done that actually in all of the seasons we've played. Came runner-up in the Super Cup. That was obviously at the start of the season. We lost out to Porto 2-1, but we just won the Portuguese Cup. That was a 2-1 win over Rio Ave, so we've retained that cup this season. But yeah, we need to do a bit more next season in terms of challenging for that European silverware. In terms of the finances then, so we've still got a 76 million transfer budget to play with for next season, obviously within our wage budget as well. So wage budget's at 2.1 million, we're currently spending 1.8, so got a bit of leeway there with that, and obviously quite a decent amount of money to spend transfer budget wise. The reason that's gone up a bit as well is we managed to sell just before the end of the January transfer window. We managed to sell a couple of players. So we sold our backup goalkeeper for 1.6 million to Leicester. Big one obviously was Rafa. We got rid of him. He wasn't happy at the club, wanted a new challenge. So we sold him to Man City for 41 million, which was a decent deal. And Lincoln as well wanted to be a star player. He wanted ridiculous wages to keep him at the club, but I didn't think we needed to really. We've got a decent set of strikers and some backups as well. So we let him go for 25 million to Hoffenheim. Not a bad bit of business. And like I say, we've got some transfer money to play with next season if we want to bring in a striker to replace him. But actually we've got one striker that's out on loan that's doing really well at the moment, and that's Maximilian Buyer. Looks a quality player. 21 goals for him in 38, playing for Rio Ave on loan, so he might get a chance to start next season. In terms of the end of the season awards then, so Vinicius was our fans player of the season on 34%. Good to see Zapata there, who we brought in obviously this season to make up the goals that Greenwood got us last season. He finished on 29%, and then Chiquinho 24%. Chiquinho also got goal of the season, which we will take a look at now, which was against Firenze. It's a good build-up play by us, as we normally tend to do. So Piquette into Chiquinho, first time hit, really good finish actually, to the bottom corner, goalkeeper with no chance, really good goal. Signing of the season, not surprisingly, Zapata. He's been an absolute machine. I'm surprised I haven't signed him before. Like I said, I have tried to sign him before, but I never really managed to get him. But he finished with 33 goals in 41 games. Really good performance from him. 21 out of 24 in the league, 6 in 9 in the Champions League. So that was really good, because obviously we wanted a player that could come in, sort of take us to that next level in terms of the Champions League. And I think next season again he'll be pivotal. He's obviously now 31, but hopefully he can still get us the goals next season and keep us challenging. And hopefully we can get through to that European final and lift that curse and win some sort of European silverware. Young player of the season, another player obviously we brought in this time, spent some money on, Lucas Piquette. Again, 10 goals in 27 for him, 5 assists. Played really well behind the two strikers, only 24 years of age. And again, we'll be looking more for him next season. So in terms of our unbeaten run then, in the league, we've had some decent results. League Cup semi-final there against Porto 3-2, and then a 5-0 thrashing of them at home at Benfica. Some other big results here as well. Obviously the Setúbal again 7-0, Moreirense 3-0, but that was in the cup. Sporting we beat 2-1 away. Some really good results, as you can see. A lot of green on the board, which is obviously what we like to see. The Champions League results in there as well. Obviously we ignore these, and we obviously look to push on to that next season. So that completes the end of season review. Like I say, we are going into season 4. I've got something different planned for that, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll do it next season. Hopefully you've enjoyed season 3. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you have, and I'll see you in the next season.